I'm really excited, guys, to let you know that I'm now sponsored by Boss Boxes. It's a great site. You guys can go ahead and get all your gamer needs. All you have to do is go to the website, pick what you want, go ahead and add it to your cart. And once you get to your cart, guys, when you get to checkout, you can pay with Apple Pay, PayPal. Go ahead and check out and throw that discount code in there. Go ahead and throw in RyeBread, and you guys will get 10% off your purchase. It's really great. It's a really awesome site. Really, guys, it got some really cool stuff, so I really recommend you guys go ahead and check that out. I'm really happy to be sponsored by them, and I hope you guys enjoy their stuff.
How's it going, everybody? RyeBread here today, and we are back with our Nashville Predators GM mode, and we're ready for the 2019-2020 season, which, if I'm doing the math right, 2016-17, 17-18, 18-19, 19-20. This is season number 4, as you guys just watched me count. I did some editing the lines that I wanted to show you guys. No trades, no roster moves, otherwise you guys would know that. But the starting lines are basically the same. We're playing Raquel over Pajot. Defensively, the same thing. Ekholm is on that second pairing with Ellis, because that was a great second pairing when it was together. But special teams, power play didn't change, but we did change the penalty kill around. So we got Smith and Perron and Salamaki and Sissons. And then 3-man PK Smith is now on the number 1 because him and Perron are listed as second line forward. So hopefully third line ice time with number 1 power play unit, or not power play, penalty kill unit will be enough time to suffice for them. 4-on-4, I did not touch much. I put Pajot there really instead of Ricard Raquel, just because I guess I could put, you know what, instead of Pajot, we're going to put Craig Smith here. You guys are watching some line changes. What do you know? You guys haven't seen those in forever. And you won't see those this season either, so just to warn you guys, or well, not warn you guys, but give you guys the heads up. So our first 3-on-3, so when we get to overtime, hopefully we'll have a little bit more success. We got Ryan Johansson, James Neal, and PK Subban. So we're gonna do that 2 forward, 1 defender thing on 3-on-3 instead of 1 forward, 2 defenders. Then Turris, Yossi, and Forsberg, which I think is almost better than our first unit, but I'm gonna leave that first unit. And then Pajot, Fiala, and Ellis, which I'm fine because Pajot's a pretty good playmaker. And goal scorer. Extra attacker again is the same, and that's all. That's about all the line changes that I wanted to discuss with you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and simulate the first month, show you guys how it is, and we'll go through the season as is there. See you guys in just a sec. All right, guys. So at first I thought we were cruising after our 1-0 loss to the Blues, but then I realized it was because we were playing Eastern Conference opponents. We absolutely demolished the Eastern Conference. Well, I guess you could say we demolished them. Not really though. With with a 6-2 win and a 5-1 win against Buffalo. But then we faced our Western Conference opponents, and more importantly, Central Division opponents. Got smacked around by Dallas, lost a high-scoring game to both the Blackhawks and the Kings, but then we finished it off with a win against the Minnesota Wild, Montreal Canadiens. That's the Minnesota Wild. And we are 5-3-1, boys, so not doing too poorly. I think the lines are doing all right. No player chemistry to report. Yeah, we seem to be doing well to start the season. Dallas is the only team better, but they were a really freaking good team last year, if I do recall, but we were able to edge them out. Remember, they're never going to be able to recover from that 3-1 deficit. So, let me go ahead and check out where I want to bring you guys back. We're going to go ahead and I'll just show you guys right now. I think we're going to go at least another month. Let's bring you guys back in January 1st if we go the next 2 months, and then we can decide what kind of team this is. It's probably going to be a contender, and I probably won't have to do much at the trade deadline. But we'll find out when we get there, so I'll see you guys in just a second. Alright, guys, I am back, and good lord, we are killing it right now. We are 24-11-2 as we hit January 1st of 2020, and man, what a good season. You know, editing my overtime line seems to have paid off for me. Injuries are still on, by the way, and I haven't had an injury, so I might have to adjust the slider, but I'm okay with this, not having injuries. We've only got 1 pure overtime loss. Now, I know there's shootout losses and whatnot. We got the shootout loss to Chicago. Is the only other time we've lost in a shootout or overtime. And then this loss against Minnesota in overtime is our only other overtime loss we've gotten. But it seems like when we get to overtime or a shootout, we seem to do well and win it, like a 1-0 overtime win there. Damn, our games against St. Louis are close. I don't want to face them in the playoffs, not at all. Dallas, a 2-1 OT win, so boys, edit your OT lines. I would definitely edit your 3-on-3 lines. Make sure that you got 2 forwards and 1 defenseman. I don't know if it's that or if our team is just that good, or maybe a little bit of both. But look at that. Another overtime win. There's another overtime win. What is that? 2 overtime wins. There's a shootout win. I'm not going to count that. 3 overtime wins. 5 overtime wins, you know, out of our 24 wins. That's pretty good. I mean, it's about 25% of our wins. 20% of our wins. 1/5 of our wins have come from overtime victories. So let's go ahead and check out the stats now that we're about halfway through the season. I think we're just a little bit under. Yeah, about 4 games under, and we are 8 points ahead of Dallas, who's second in the division. And guys, this is a tough division, and we are killing it right now. We got 50 points at January 1st. And James Neal seems to have found some magic on that first line there. 33 points in 37 games. Now, he was doing a little bit better earlier, but him and Forsberg both seem to be clicking, with Ryan Johansson falling slightly behind there. Maybe, maybe I don't know if I have a pure setup man. I mean, Turris isn't going to upseat Johansson. God, I'm sorry about that, guys. But yeah, I mean, 30 points in 37 games is still great. Subban's got 27. We're going to go check out just forwards, though. Fiala, Turris, and Arvidsson, they seem to have reversed their plus, except for Victor Arvidsson. Smith, Perron, and Raquel seems to be a decent line, especially plus-minus. Then Peugeot, Salamaki, and Sissons all having 10 points. So all of our forwards have double-digit points. We had some forwards finish with 10 points last season. We're just under halfway through the season, and they've got double-digit points, so that's great. Then we have PK Subban, who's got 27 points. Yossi, who's got 22 points. Shabbat, who's got 13 and is third on the team. Now, I did move Shabbat up onto that second pairing with Ryan Ellis because Ellis and Ekholm were both minus players. Shabbat was a plus. He was a +5 with Cece. So I moved Ekholm down to that bottom pairing and Shabbat up. And him and Ellis seem to be doing great together. Ekholm still seems to be a minus. His defensive category is good. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he doesn't put in a lot of points, but neither does Cece. But I'm not going to try and figure it out now. Goaltending-wise, John Gibson, .934 save percentage. Enroth's pretty sucky as a backup, not going to lie. But he's 2-1, so, I mean, wait, he's only played 6 games, and he's 2-1. He might have an overtime loss, but it's not listed. And Gibson's got a .195 save percent, or goal against average, and in 8 shutouts in 33 appearances. In 22 wins, he's got 8 shutouts. Good lord, guys. So, if we check out where we are amongst the rest of the league, because I'm actually curious to see how we're doing. We are not number 1. We are behind both juggernauts in the West, the Canucks and the Flames. But the good news is we are pretty close to the Canucks. Everything's basically even except one of their losses in overtime compared to ours. But goals for per game, we are at the top. We are higher than Vancouver and Calgary. The Buffalo Sabres Sabres and Leafs of the Atlantic Division score the most goals for per game. Goals against per game, that's where the Canucks, well, we know who the Canucks have in goal, right? Yeah, we know why they're up there. And then the Blue Jackets and then us. So when we're in the top 5, I think we're in the top 5 in goals for per game, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're 5th in goals for per game and tied for 2nd in goals against per game. This has me reminiscing of like the beginning, like the earlier on stages. Man, this is good. Let's go ahead and just double check. I want to double check to make sure that I wasn't wrong about who the Vancouver Canucks have in net and how he's doing this year. Vancouver Canucks, their goalies. Yep, their goalie is none other than Thatcher Demko, 184 goal against average, 939 save percentage, so just a little bit better than John Gibson. And Markstrom, their backup, seems to be doing that Enroth, and I think that's really the difference right now. But we're going to go ahead and simulate up to the probably All-Star break, I would say. Another month that's going to be, and I'll catch you guys back up because it doesn't take too long because I'm just simulating and you guys are just seeing the results. Let's go ahead and actually sim past the All-Star game and go up to the 31st here. All right, see you guys when we get there. All right, guys, so another solid month. It seems like we cannot beat the Edmonton Oilers. There's a loss, there's a shootout loss, there's a loss. But it seems like recently we've been able to top the Calgary Flames, who are a fantastic team. 3-2 overtime win, a 4-1 win. How do we do? We lost to them 6-2, but that's okay. That's earlier on in the season. What matters is the second half of the season. And our second half of the season, well, here's the month before the trade deadline. The trade deadline's like on the 1st of March there, guys. And then I'll bring you guys back in once we get probably past this Colorado game. I'll bring you guys back in around here. But we'll probably end up going another month. This month features games against Dallas. And I don't really see too many other premier opponents other than Toronto and Buffalo, who seem to be able to score the puck like mad. Really no Central Division opponents either. So hopefully we can have a good month, pick up these points, even though, these aren't desperate points. As far as standings are concerned, let's go ahead and check those out real quick. We are first in the division, but only by 6 points. I think we're still behind Calgary and Vancouver as far as total points in the entire league goes. But we'll see if we can catch up this month, boys. I'm hoping for a good month here. Let's go ahead and get it. See you when it gets back. All right, guys. So another good month, highlighted by a little bit of a streaky performance though by us. We went to 4 straight overtime games. 3 of them went to a shootout. One of them we won 1-0 in overtime. Then after we lost to Pittsburgh, we went on a 6-game winning streak against the Flyers, Canadiens, Islanders, Sabres, Ducks, and Blackhawks. But then we are now on a 4-game losing streak where we lost pretty badly to the Canadiens. We lost moderately badly to the Hurricanes, so I believe we're in the Eastern Conference Finals but got swept by the Leafs. And then a 7-5 loss to Boston, and then a 2-1 shootout loss to Dallas on the trade deadline. So at least we got a point there. But this is where I bring you guys back in, and we go ahead and simulate the rest. Man, we got a lot of Central Division opponents, so I'll simulate right up until that date before the matchup against Colorado. On the 28th, we beat Colorado, but we do lose to the Islanders, but we do beat the Philadelphia Flyers in a shootout. So I don't think we're going to be a President's Trophy winning team, but I certainly think we're going to be one of the top teams in the league. It's just unfortunate that the entire West has the strong teams and that the rest of the leagues don't have any kind of strong team whatsoever. All right, Boston. Can we go ahead and finally we went back and beat Boston. LA, we beat them. They seem to always be my Achilles heel. Whenever I do a simulation, I seem to always lose to the Kings, and there's the Ottawa Senators at home. Thomas Chabot's former team, he gained morale after that. Ice time, not because he played his team, but you can make a storyline if you want it. I'm just doing some quick 1-week scouting sessions. We're going to go 2 weeks in America because I've yet to scout America. Ottawa, again, a 6-2 win, but then we lose to central opponent. The Minnesota Wild versus the Colorado Avalanche, we lose 5-4. Versus Vancouver, the juggernaut that they are, we do end up beating them 5-2, but we got another meeting against them here on the 22nd. We did qualify for the playoffs already, so we're not going to miss out on the playoffs. We get smacked by them after beating them, so that one kind of hurt. Then we lose to the San Jose Sharks, but beat the New Jersey Devils. And boys, wow. With 3 weeks left in the season, we actually qualified for the playoffs right after we beat Vancouver here. So as far as standings are concerned, 96 points to St. Louis's 85. Good Lord. We are trouncing this division. 11 points with only 6 games remaining. It'd have to be a tremendous collapse for us to not win the Central Division. But now that we've got the Central Division on lock, I'm going to look for... well, we're not locked in the Central Division. I think if we win this game against Colorado, we might lock ourselves in as the #1 seed in the Central. It might show it up at the top. A 3-2 shootout win. There we go. Let's go ahead and check back out here. Let's not get ahead. I don't want to get ahead of myself. We have yet to... Well, we've locked this playoff spot. We haven't locked the division, and we haven't locked the conference. Well, our conference is stacked anyway, so we couldn't lock that right away. But if we go ahead and check the entire league, we are at 98 points and are 4 points ahead of the Buffalo Sabres, who seem to be... Well, I can't say that. They're 4 points. They're 4 games, or 2 games, 4 points behind us. But boys, we are dominating the NHL right now. We have 98 points, and we still got 5 games to play. We can get all the way up to 108 if everything goes perfect. I think we might be the only team with more than 102. That'd actually be kind of cool. All right, so let's go ahead and simulate past these 2 games, Winnipeg and Minnesota. If we can get 3 points, I'd be happy. If we could get 4, I'd be ecstatic. Just because I don't want to, I don't want to miss out on an opportunity when we're this close. I also don't want to limp into the playoffs. There's 1 point against Winnipeg. Can we get 2 against Minnesota? And we do a 3-0 shutout win there, boys. And it's looking good. We got 3 games remaining. Let's go ahead and check out what the points are. We have 101. We have locked up the division. So nobody in our division can catch us, which is pretty obvious to me. I'm pretty sure that's what the Y means. Clinched division, and Z is clinching the conference. So somebody is still in striking range. The Vancouver Canucks are still within striking distance, and the Buffalo Sabres seem to have only picked. They're 5 points behind us now. So they picked up. They didn't pick up. Well, I'm so confused. Anyway, they're 5 points behind us with 1 game in hand. So that means they're basically 3 points behind us if they get a win, which means we would have to drop 3, they'd have to gain 3, and it's looking like we're going to take the division, the conference, and the league, boys. President's Trophy is never really that good of luck, though, when it comes to the playoffs. But, man, this is pretty exciting. I'm really hoping we win these last couple games. This could be a fantastic season. We'll also do a season recap. I want to go ahead and do this game against Winnipeg and then the game against St. Louis. We do beat Winnipeg 4-2. St. Louis now. All right, so I'll simulate past this game because I'm hoping we can win this one too, or at least get a point. I'd like a point, and we get both points. And you know what? Screw it. We're just going to simulate right to the very end. I don't know if we've clinched the President's Trophy or not. But, man, guys, we had a phenomenal season. 107 points, clinching the Western Conference. The only team that was close from the entire league was Buffalo. And we'll have to see how they did and how far away they are. Buffalo. Actually, Vancouver's right behind us, but they cannot catch us. We've clinched the division, and we've clinched the President's Trophy. I think this is the first time I've ever won the President's Trophy, so damn, this Nashville Predators squad is looking nice. Man, but look at that. Vancouver is just, they're so good. God, there's a lot of good teams. Nobody quite at our level, because Vancouver could actually finish under 100 points. I'd like to be the only team that finishes with 100 points. But, you know, we'll see how that one goes. We'll go ahead and keep simulating here. I want to be the only team finishing. Wow, we totally blew out this tremendous division. I was saying for years how good this division is, and we finished 14 points ahead of the next highest team. Good Lord. And we have now officially clinched the President's Trophy. Let's go ahead and do a end-of-season recap. Let's see how far away the Buffalo Sabres were. Or the Vancouver Canucks were the second-best team in the league, I think it was, when I last checked. And they are, so 3 teams finished with over 100. Buffalo fell off a little bit towards the end. They had, like, 4 games and only got 1 point, but they still did fine. They won their division, so they are number 1 in their division. Vancouver came in second. We came in first. Washington clinched the East with a solid 100 points in 82 games. But man, we're the only team to finish. We finished with 107. I'm not going to try and qualify it because we won the President's Trophy. We were the best team in the NHL. Goals for per game slipped out of the top 5. I think we're tied for 5th. We're under 3 goals per game, but that's not too concerning considering when our goals against per game went up. Yeah, no, that is... Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong team. Our goals for per game is still 3rd best in the league, so that's fine with me. Our power play percentage was 19.5%, so we were getting it done on the power play as well as 5-on-5, which is nice to see. And our shorthanded or penalty killing percentage was up there in 3rd place in the league, so it looks like Craig Smith and David Perron did just fine. Now, we don't have a lot of goals, shorthanded goals, but I don't care. Shorthanded goals against, and I'm hoping we're not at the top. These are just fun stats now. And in the last 10, who's the best team in the last 10? It is the Chicago Blackhawks. We are up there, though, at 7-2-1, but yeah, I would have liked a Chicago Blackhawk, Boston Bruin kind of run. But there we go, boys. We're the President's Trophy winning team. I can't emphasize that enough. And our leading scorer was Philip Forsberg with 70 points and 33 goals, boys. That's a pretty good goal total for us. We don't really get good goal scorers. It's pretty well spread out. Joe Hansen had 65, and James Neal had 63. Let's go ahead and limit it just to forwards again, because I always forget to do that right off the bat. Then Turris, Fiala, and Arvidsson. So Fiala and Arvidsson were minus players, but Turris still finished with a plus, so good for him. Craig Smith had 38, and Perron and Raquel. Yeah, see, guys, the solution to having bad bottom 6 is to get people who can score and get points. Because I don't think we had... I think our 3rd line last year had in the 20s for goals or for points and whatnot. And this year, I mean, only Salamaki was the only forward on the team not to get 20 points. So that's pretty exciting. As far as goals, we only had 2 20 goal scorers, but a lot of guys spreading it out. Above 15, we have Ryan Johansson, David Perron on the 3rd line, Victor Arvidsson, Kyle Turris, Kevin Fiala with 19. Then cracking above 20, we have James Neal with 23, and Philip Forsberg with 33. Now let's go ahead and check out our defenseman. PK Subban finished with over half a point per game. As a defenseman, that's pretty good. He's not going to win the Norris, but I'm okay with that. 50 points in 82 games and contributing 16 goals was great. Now, he's not the... Oh, my freaking God. Holy shit, Thomas Chabot is the greatest plus-minus player I have ever seen. What the hell makes him this good? How on earth is this guy a plus 36? In our top pairing... And I moved him up to the second pairing because he was good. He was at a 12 halfway through the season. He was a plus 12. Oh my God, Matthias. Okay, so Matthias Ekholm is a minus player. I don't think he's been doing enough production to shake that minus. But now to see what our goalie, John Gibson, did, 232. So he did regress. I'm not gonna say regress, but he did drop off a little bit towards the second half of the season, and a 922 save percentage as well. This is fantastic. I'm so excited with how our team performed. Let's go ahead and check out the entire league though, just to see who around the league was dominant. Vladimir Tarasenko with 98 points. Very close to 100. Nikita Kucherov with 92. Jack Eichel with 92 as well. He is a 96 overall. That's the highest overall I've seen so far. 43 goals as well. Pretty close. 43 goals, 50 assists. Steven Stamkos, 94. 94 overall. So it looks like Eichel is apparently the best player in the league. He's better than McDavid, it seems. He's just as good as Sidney Crosby. Okay, that makes sense. Nathan McKinnon. Okay, I'm just kind of interested to see players' overalls now. Tyler Sagan's at 93. He had a little bit of a down year considering what he normally does, right? Patrick Kane, Jamie Benn, they're both 95s. Yeah, it looks like Jack Eichel has grown to be the best player in the NHL. Wow. But there we go. Wow, Drew Doughty had one hell of a season. Let's go check out defensemen because there's the first defenseman. Yeah, 74 points. Erik Karlsson had 65 points. And Oliver Ekman-Larsson had 63. The reason I highlight these guys is because they both were they were third and fourth in the league in points. Pretty close to second in the league. Jacob Larson, low elite, 91 defender for the Ducks. Man, you know, they traded away Gibson, but if they have a goalie, they are going to be a good team because Larson is looking like a very, very good player. But they, like I'm highlighting that they're minus players just because, you know, oh, look, Subban's down there too. Just because, God, focus, Ryan. Just because Matthias Ekholm was also a minus, but he didn't put up those kind of point totals, so I'm not as happy about it. Let's go ahead and look. Oh, God, Braden Holtby seems to have a fantastic season. He had a lot of wins, but goal against average. Joran von Pottelberg in 30 games had 3.5. Are you starting for the Red Wings? I got to look that up. I got to see who their starting goalie is. But it seems like Jonas Korpisalo at a 94 overall is gonna take the Vezina with a 220 goal against average. So, yeah, John Gibson was actually up there. I'm gonna say he was the third best goalie in the league, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, he had as many wins as Braden Holtby, and their save percentage. Yeah, Jonas Korpisalo is gonna win it, but John Gibson, as much of his goal against average, it must have been a good goal scoring year for the NHL. Oh yeah. I forgot to check out who's leading the NHL in goals scored. I think it's Vladimir Tarasenko because he has like over 50. But oh, good, yeah. Marco Scandella finished an entire season without registering a single point in 62 games. That is actually impressive. To not like Hayden Fleury got more points than Marco Scandella. Whoever this guy is, Mikkel. Oh, okay, yeah. But look at that. Look at Hayden Fleury, another defenseman. Trevor Van Riemsdyk played in 19 games and had more points than Marco Scandella, and he played in 62. So if we go to goals here, who scored the most goals in the NHL? It is Vladimir Tarasenko. James Van Riemsdyk. I feel like I've seen his name at the top quite a bit. Yeah, he's had 2 good seasons now, 30 goals and 45 goals, although his team is looking very, very good. Jack Eichel up there as well at 43, and Tavares at 41 were the only players to crack 40. So I guess Philip Forsberg being down there at 33 was not bad at all. I kind of want to check out what the Toronto Maple Leafs have on their roster, just because I'm kind of curious about it. Just to see what like Austin Matthews is and whatnot. Point-wise, Mitch Marner's an 87, Austin Matthews an 89. William Nylander is not a 91, he's an 86. They signed Cam Atkinson. Yeah, no, it doesn't seem to be like anybody else on their team is in the 90s, except for Morgan Riley, Andrew Nielsen. Okay, so they're not a bad team. Let's go ahead and check out who did I want to look at. Vancouver, because they got rid of the Sedins. They got Bertschy, who's a 90, Bo Horvat, yeah, Vertanen. So they signed Carlson. They still have Louis Eriksson, Reed Boucher, Sam Gagner, Ben Hutton, Brock Boeser. He's already on the team as he was drafted in the first round of 2015. Seems to be doing as good as a prospect. Okay. So I'm not going to go through all the teams. If you guys want to know what a team's roster is, I will go ahead and post it before we start the playoffs. But go ahead and leave that down in the comment section. Let me know what team you want to see. And we will be taking on the San Jose Sharks, who are 41-35-6 in the next game. In the playoffs, excuse me. which is good for us because we don't have to play a damn Central Division. Although the Central Division doesn't seem to be nearly as stacked. Well, how many Pacific teams we got? The Oilers are a Pacific team, right? It was us, the Blues, and the Avalanche were the only 3 Central teams to make it. That's pretty interesting. Central Division no longer seems to be the juggernaut it used to. But there we go, boys. That is the end of this one. We had a fantastic season running all over the NHL, kicking everybody's ass. Glad we had fun with it. Hopefully we'll have just as much fun in the playoffs and win the Stanley Cup. But, you know, you can only ask so much per season. But if you guys enjoyed this one, I do bring more just like this. It's coming up pretty damn soon. Probably in 2 days. You guys know my upload schedule. But there we go, guys. That is the end of this one. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see some more. And I will see you in the next one.